Hey all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals, I Tank, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, July 17th, and this is episode 226 of the Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Vegan Pete, and always by my side is the lovely...
Hey guys, Avi Ale here. How you doing?
Decided to go back to the lovely for today.
That's very nice. I got distracted because KK McLeod says you didn't see the spoiler pic I posted. And
it's vegan Pete, vegan KFC.
Billy just tipped us $10
we
for
have the
some
voice
vegan
on.
fried chicken.
We've got the voice thing on again. I don't know. Is that only for tips?
Yes.
Yeah, the picture is of the Crystal Exarch in the new trial costume. I don't know her name, but that we've seen. It's a thing of beauty, whoever did that. Oh, we'll tweet it out because that has to be shared.
And we'll talk about it when we get to the dungeon part. Well, thank you for being here today, Avi. I always appreciate it.
Do I really have a choice?
Nah, not really.
I didn't think so.
Hello, and thank you to everyone joining us right now. Whether you're listening via the podcast, watching it on YouTube, or if you're here live with us at twitch.tv/SheHealsITank, we really appreciate all your support. Today feels good, Avi.
Why?
It feels like we finally got some new information from some interviews that Yoshi P did.
Oh, it's like, so we actually feel like we have something to talk about.
Well, I always have stuff to talk about.
No, you don't. You complain.
This might be stuff that people actually want to hear.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're like, wasn't I just talking last week so much about like scraping the bottom of the barrel?
I don't feel like we did that. We're not there yet.
Well, we did.
We did not do casting Eorzea again yet.
We never will. We never will.
But yeah, we got some new information from Yoshi P. We're only a week away from the next live letter. Patch 5.3 special site has been released. It's starting to feel like 5.3 is really just around the corner.
It really is. That's why it feels that way. We're
But
almost there.
Before we get started with all of that, let's shout out some very special people. Our subs for the week. And once again, Batkid hooked up chat with a bunch of gift subs, 15 to be exact.
So nice.
Even though it was his birthday,
Yeah.
he gave out gifts in chat. So thank you for that, Batkid. So we got first time subs from Casanovatron, Jaskrin, Atrum Starstrider, Gunner the Mad, XJum Lol, Owl Fox, Cloud Haze, Silvers 1166, and Kaylee Fortuna, all first-time subs, many via gift. At 2 months, we have Mad Camphor, Canosian, Clack, Jeff Fango, all 2 months. 3 months, we have Joey2531, and Vaughn114. At 8 months, we have Crow623. 9 months, we have Disco Cub. 11 months, we have Caterpants closing in on 1 year. Just over 1 year at 13 months is VoxNest7, and at 14 months we have Pisky, aka Psyche Games, and at 19 months we have Broly489. Thank you so much for those subs, y'all.
I'm surprised you read the gift subs. I thought you weren't going to do that anymore.
I like it.
Pete just wants it to seem like there's more.
Not lying. Speaking of gifts, Avi, we did have a raffle that was going on today.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you want to get those now.
No, because you didn't tell me we were going to be doing that, so I don't have anything pulled up. So.
Well, then that means we have to go on to everyone's favorite segment, and we'll have those winners a little bit later on in the show.
Well, like right after that, but yeah.
What's the segment, Avi?
Set me up again.
Everyone's favorite segment.
Greenleaf Minute.
It's the Greenleaf Minute.
You like set me up and then you started talking. Like, you can't do that. You can't interrupt the setup. The setup has to be the setup.
Do not explain setups to me.
Well, you obviously need me to because you messed it up.
Womansplain to me.
Oh, that's what I do. How would you know anything if I didn't?
So this week's Greenleaf Minute is actually an update on last week's Greenleaf Minute, where we were discussing what would happen with crops when you relocate your estate. And we did the best we could by testing it out just by putting my garden back into the storeroom. But we couldn't 100% say that was true if you relocated. But Philibert in our Discord let us know that they did indeed relocate when they had crops growing, and they transferred over just fine. nothing was lost.
And also, Philbert is super awesome and agreed with me that putting away your crops while planted in storage does serve some purposes. Like, what if you are going to go on vacation and you've got crops that you don't want to die? Well, you just put them in the storage and then they're in stasis.
When he explained it, it made sense. When you explained it, didn't.
Yeah, that's not a ring. That's a vaginas.
Yes, he let us know that when you do put your crops or your garden into the storeroom, it goes into stasis. So if you're going out of town for a couple days or more, you can put your gardens into the storeroom and they won't die while you're away.
Even Disco Cub agrees. Wow, so when a man explains it, it makes sense.
Yes, accurate.
Pizza dick.
I have no idea if Philbert is
dick.
a man or a woman.
Pizza dick. I don't know. I just thought that was funny the way that Disco Cup, because it was like wow was written out, man was in all caps, and then there was like dots at the end. It was just so perfectly like written out. I had to share that.
So yeah, that's just a little update. And it also made it seem like you could possibly like start 3 gardens, get them to just about the harvesting stage, like, and then put them into your storeroom.
Yep.
And then get 3 more gardens going if you wanted to.
Yep.
So you could just like save it, wait for the perfect time to sell them on the market board, and then bring them out, swap them out, and get a whole bunch of crops.
You never know. It's something you could try.
So yeah. Do you want to do the winners for our raffle, Avi?
So our raffle was called the 5.3 Delay Consolation Prize. So to make it a little less painful that we've had to wait so long for the patch 5.3 release, we did a giveaway where there's a first prize of the Spriggan Stone Carrier mount, which is the account-wide mount. Thank you to Fen for donating. I believe that was Fen. I don't want to say it's Fen and then not have it be Fen. I think it was Fen. Please. It was Fen?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Fen. I'm so bad with names. And then second prize is the Tales of Adventure 1 Retainer's Journey 2, which will level up a retainer all the way to level 70 on the job of your choice. And third prize is everyone's favorite housing item, the authentic Mosquito Moogle, which is like an incense burner sort of thing that looks kind of like a fleshlight. Yeah, it's a thing. All right, and so we got the first, second, and third prizes. So I don't actually know yet which one I'm going to draw first because we're using an automated website for these. So
I think it's just going to give you 3 winners, and it should.
It might assign them. I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Well, if it doesn't assign them, we're doing it in the best to worst order.
Really? I feel like you should always go third place, second place, first. That's how everyone does it.
No.
Yes, you always go third place first, so it builds up. Yes, no, we're going third. This was my idea.
Should the first name win the big prize?
No, they should win the third place prize. Like at the Olympics, the first person announced is not the first place winner. Like that's not how it works. Now the person whose name gets called first is going to be like, freaking Avi, I'd have had the mount if you wouldn't argue with Pete. No, you go third, second, first. All right, we're going to draw.
All right, we're going third, second, first.
Drawing the winners. Thinking. Winners to draw. Okay, we're not allowing repeat winners. Draw. 10%, 100%. That was quick. And I don't see anything yet. It's still thinking. Okay, so it actually did assign them.
Okay.
So there is I'm not choosing this. The system chose all of this. So our third place winner is Josh Mackey, who follows us on twitch.tv. So thank you so much, Josh. I don't see a Twitch name or anything. Oh, here's Twitch. I'm sorry. Twitch. Sorry for getting for their real name. Inquisitor Puriel. Never used the system. And then second place, who was now going to be able to level up a retainer to level 70 is... I got to pick my own drums because my husband's horrible
Woke
sounds.
Up Buscemi.
Oh, he's fine. He sleeps all day. Voxna7.
We know that name.
And finally, the winner of the Spriggan Stone Carrier mount is someone I'm not very familiar with. So all I've got is an email. I'm not going to read out their email address. It's Alexander Chernov. So what we're going to do is we're going to contact everyone, verify that you do have an active Final Fantasy XIV account if we don't know, and then make sure you get the prizes. And if people do not or whatever happens, we will do this again.
Track them down. All right, and we're gonna have many more giveaways coming up. I think we're actually gonna have one when we probably post out the next episode. So starting tomorrow, we're gonna have another one, I believe.
We're just not gonna announce it on the podcast? Because usually you should announce it on the podcast.
Okay. We have someone who was so kind enough to gift us.
No, Pete, you can't do it now. Like literally, I don't have the thing set up, so there's no. Don't do that to me.
I can tell them what it is. They can't go enter right now.
Can't tell them how to enter. We can't do anything.
It's gonna be a Gleam. We're gonna tweet it out.
Okay. I don't like the lack of planning that this man lives by is really hard for me to just keep up with.
Just live your life, baby.
Ugh. I want to throw something at you right now.
We're gonna have a giveaway. It's starting tomorrow. We're gonna be giving away some carbuncle slippers. We have the ruby, emerald, and topaz carbuncle slippers, and those are dyeable. And our good friend Esper was kind enough to donate those codes to us.
Thank you so much, Esper. So with the 3 pairs of the shoes?
Yes.
Okay. So that'll be, again, a first, second, and third prize selection. And we won't be able to tell you anything about how to enter because we haven't set it up.
What's there to tell? We tweet out something, you retweet it, you follow, you do all the shit that's in the tweet.
You're going to have to figure out which tweet it is and everything because we don't know right now.
Oh my God.
Don't like not planning. Virgo brain here. Type A personality person. Must plan. Have everything ready to go in advance. This hurts my heart.
It's the
Chili just said that he would add a carbuncle mount.
Oh.
And then Case says, oh, what color?
Just in case you didn't hear.
Oh, I heard
it's time for Avi's favorite segment, the tweet of the week. Right, Avi? This one came in just before the show.
You literally stole someone else's tweet of the week with your tweet because you made Pete so happy.
Has to make it even better.
There's a follow-up tweet too, Pete.
Oh, yeah? I don't see it yet.
I'm pointing at it.
I can't tell what that is.
Read the tweet and then I'll explain that to you. Words are hard.
Oh my God, LMAO. This is so great. My nerdy boyfriend is fanboying. We enjoyed the Leviathan and they're watching She Heals, I Tank as we're doing it right now.
You didn't read the actual tweet first, so it doesn't make sense. You read the second tweet before the first tweet.
You told me to do that.
No, I didn't. It was not what I said.
This is why we need mansplaining.
I said just read the tweet of the week.
Tweet of the week comes from Cecily. She writes, as She Heals, I Tank, tried a couple of your Drink About Eorzeas. So delicious. Thank you for gracing us with these delicious cocktails. I just started playing Final Fantasy for the first time. Hashtag help me.
And the second tweet was literally a picture of the drink while they were watching us stream, which is super awesome. And that was all I was going to point out to Pete, but he's special.
Thank you for recognizing that.
It's a nice way to say it. So when they said they're enjoying the Leviathan, that's the name of one of the drinks. So by reading the other tweet first, it completely didn't make any sense.
And if you started at the beginning with She Heals, I Tank, and you're still going through the Drink About Eorzeas.
I'm so
we
sorry.
haven't done a Drink About Eorzea for quite a while. So if you were looking for a live demonstration,
they probably found them all on YouTube.
Sorry.
I don't think anyone would go back.
Sorry to disappoint, but you can catch up on the old ones on YouTube.
Yeah, this episode is going off track. I don't know what's going on. We're like so excited to have content to talk about that we just like am.
Oh, Spoonie Bard Erilyn, that's me. I made her watch episode 14.
That's awesome. Yay.
All right, news and notes from around the realm, Avi. What's up?
As you mentioned, we finally have the special site for patch 5.3, and it confirmed that the patch is in fact called Reflections in Crystal, and it will be hitting on August 11th. So let's take a look at some of the other info and fancy little pictures that they gave us.
And thank you for that sub, Fidu1, who says, yay, content.
Yay! They have a reason to log in again, almost, maybe.
So first up, we have the MSQ. Avi, can you read that little blurb to us?
Sure. The MSQ section reads, having confirmed their suspicions that he resurrected Ardbert is none other than Elidibus. The Scions endeavor to shed light upon the Asians' dark plot.
Maybe we should have said spoiler alert for any new players.
But time is against them, for the hour of their departure or demise fast approaches.
So we got this first picture. Ardbert, Elidibus. Not really much to go on this one. I don't think they're going to be set up like this. I think they just took 2 pictures and
I think the way
them.
the way that they are set up is it's a reflection almost of the other. Like one standing kind of behind it. Like, is he a puppet to the other? Like, what's going on? Which we kind of know things that are going on. It's kind of obvious. But it's definitely meant to show the similarities in the two. The way they've got it, they're both facing the camera. They both have the exact same skin tone. I can't really see the picture very well because I have subtitles on my stream, so it covers up the bottom half of Ardbert's face. But yeah.
Chili Pepper says, "I'm calling Ardbert is the trio with Elidibus being phase 2. Oh, that would be interesting."
I would not be surprised. I feel like that would be kind of fitting. They've kind of made it really building up this bad Bert. Is that what we were calling him before? The bad Bert. And I think that'd be kind of cool if we fight him and then it goes into Elidibus at the end. But I think it'll be really interesting to see how that works out.
And the next picture we get is of the Ancients. And there's 13 of them. I think that kind of fits with the theory that we are at least a fragment of the 14th one that used to be there.
Why do you say that?
Because there's 13.
Okay.
They're all looking at us, kind of like we're one of them.
Well, they're just looking at us.
Kind of like we're one of them.
Is that how you look at someone when you're one of them?
One of us.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
Exactly how I look at people.
It's fair.
Apparently, we are a Lala in this picture, though. They're all looking down at us.
I mean, it's a little more foreboding of an image for them to be looking down upon you. So we could be laying down.
We dead?
Like, or, we had a vision and fell or something happened. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be a Lala fell.
It's got the static all around it, kind of like it's a flashback also.
Yep. Well, I mean, it makes most sense.
That's why we would be the 14th one, since we wouldn't actually have been there. But I guess we could be doing our little echo thing.
That's what the static generally means, yes.
Is it, though?
Generally, yes. And Chili says, remember, they are massive.
And then the last picture we get.
He doesn't remember Chili.
Crystal Exarch with his Keyblade.
You did not. Oh my god. You actually wrote that. You actually wrote with his Keyblade.
I wrote Crystal Dude with his Keyblade.
You did. Yes. Oh my god. Okay, do you have anything you want to talk about with this?
I mean, I think the last patch just ended with him being like, he needs to use his blood to
infuse the crystal so that we can use it to transport everyone back. Yeah, that's what this looks like.
Maybe he's already given his blood and now he's, I don't know, putting the cherry on top.
All right. As far as new dungeons go, we already knew that it would be called Gyros's.
Sorry, Heroes Gauntlet.
I was like, don't know what this word is. I didn't think that was right, but I wasn't going to go.
You don't remember on your own?
No, because I don't really care the name of the dungeon. The Heroes Gauntlet. And the blurb we get reads, it is said that the Heroes patch is fraught. Is that patch or path?
I don't.
I think it's supposed to be the hero's path is fraught with danger. And these...
Look, if I get close to the word, just figure it out.
All right. So the blurb reads for Gyro's Gauntlet. It is said that the hero's path is fraught with danger, and these words will never ring truer as the whole of Norvrant becomes a battlefield across which the warrior of darkness must fight their way. And honestly, Pete, when it's a quote, I think you're copying and pasting it.
Actually, from that special site, you cannot copy and paste. So I typed that shit.
So Chili has a guess for the dungeon. He says the dungeon will be us fighting the warriors of light. The lady in the dungeon looks like she could have been a warrior of light, hence the hero's gauntlet name for the dungeon.
Makes sense.
It does. Or, training again for something. Could be a gauntlet for the heroes to be better heroes.
One gauntlet to rule them all.
So we've got the first picture, which is of a river with a broken bridge. It looks very much like it's Ilmeg sort of leading into Lakeland. There is the Crystal Tower in the background, and it's the sky is very dark and it's like super cloudy.
It's like it's starting to rain.
Yeah, it's not a happy image.
Yeah, the bridge is broken, but we have like a flower pathway which we're gonna be running on.
Wait, we're getting a bridge that we're going to be running
flower
on?
pathway instead of the bridge.
Got it.
Like
Maybe
from Ilmeg.
another way in.
They're magic.
I just heard you say we're getting a bridge that we're going to be running on, and I was like, yes.
Number 2 picture is of one of the bosses. What do you think about this boss lady?
I think the design of her is very, very, very pretty. But I'd kind of said to you earlier, I felt that her attire was unnecessarily erotic, I guess. She's like basically wearing a strip of cloth that covers all her bits. Like one just whoop up, and I just feel like she could have been very, very pretty if, she just wasn't showing all her bits.
She's not showing all her bits.
She's like
the bottom half bits is what you're talking about.
But it's the same strip of cloth. Like if she turns wrong, she's showing all her bits. It's that kind of an outfit. It's pretty. I get fan service. I'm sick of that. Like, why does it always have to be these over sexualized looking female characters? And I feel like she could have been a strong, awesome looking character, not dressed like that. And what had me laugh earlier was the spoiler image that KK shared was a Crystal Exarch in this exact outfit. And I actually think it looked better on the male character. And I would have loved it if this particular character, I don't know the story, but if that had been a male dress like that, I wouldn't be complaining because we'd finally get something in return. Like, we don't get any slutty looking male characters ever. Like, why does it have to be a slutty looking female character every single time? Like, fan service? Man, Crystal Exarch dressed like that or something that looks like Crystal Exarch, that would also be some fan service.
You already have that. It's called Borat.
No, that's not Final Fantasy.
Basically the same thing they were wearing, just in black.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit. But like, not Chili says we got a few. We don't have sexy looking male characters to this extent. They're not like, their bits aren't about to fall out.
What about Godbert?
How long ago did we get him? How many slutty female characters have we gotten since him? And that's not even that bad. He's just wearing like little shorts. Like, she has a strip of cloth covering her bajingo that's like 2 inches wide. That's just not much.
That aside, I think she's got like a lot of things going on. Like, it's very distracting to me. You got that.
Yeah,
what do you even call that? Is it like a leotard?
It's a strip of cloth. That's not clothing. That's like negligee, or is it negligee? Yeah, negligee.
And she's also got thigh highs similar to Reen, but they're laced up and they have like a ruffle around the knee. She's got like weird, poofy sleeves that remind me of a magician, like she's gonna do a trick for us. I
think it's a gorgeous look. I think that they could have just had her wearing a white bodysuit in all the bits that are skin tone, and the aesthetic would have looked the same, and she wouldn't have been slutty. And I would have been like, cool, that's really awesome.
Slut shaming?
No, but they made her look slutty. Like, why?
I think the coolest part
she looks like an astrologian a lot with her headpiece and the aesthetics of her outfit, like you were just talking about with the sleeves and stuff. But she does have a staff.
Coolest part to me is the cape. And I believe it is a cape. But yes, it's really cool and ruffled and flowy. The headpiece actually kind of reminded me of like a Lakshmi and Sophia like crossover.
And some chat saying that she looks like a black mage. The only reason I see black mage in this is because of the staff. Her entire outfit is an aesthetic of flowy with like a turban with black with gold accents, and the black with gold accents have been astrologian specific since we've been playing, since they've been in game, really.
And I think the thing that weirds me out a little bit is I think her face looks kind of similar to Reen as well.
You already said that.
Did I?
I don't think her face looks similar to Reen. You just changed the picture. She looks much older than Reen. Her eyes are much bigger and her lips are very, very small, and she has pink hair.
And then the last picture we get for this is the dungeon gear, Avi.
Well, there it is. I haven't been happy with dungeon gear in a long time. I know, I feel like I'm a little bit like, I gotta poo on everything all the time lately. But the gear to me, it's not bad. It just looks like gear we've already seen. And they're like, I'm gonna take the sleeves from this, the belt from that, the shoes from this, the hat from that, smash it together. And it's new gear that we didn't actually have to design. That's how it feels to me. So it's just kind of like, okay, well, whatever. This doesn't add anything new to the game. I do think that like the masks and stuff that they all have wearing like really feels like it's lending to most likely the story of the dungeon, and that part is cool. But I do feel like
I personally hate the mask.
Well, no, but that's why they did it. It's because of the 13.
Yeah, they look like the ancients.
Yeah, so like the dungeon is definitely going to have something to do with the ancients, but I think it would have been really cool if it, instead of like all of this over the top gear, like what if they gave every character like a long, flowy, really simple like robe, like very flowy, very long, and they were all slightly different versions of like a long, flowy 13th robe.
Why didn't they just give us the gear that last boss was wearing?
And yeah, people would love that. But I don't know. I just feel like this doesn't feel new. This doesn't feel fresh. I just think, I don't know what. People really love the kind of the flowy animations and the skirts and stuff. And when I mean a robe, I don't mean like the level, 12 robe you get. I mean like, shoulders to ground, long flowy fabric. Like not necessarily any of their ornamentation on it other than just fabric. And then maybe like, the dancer wears a shorter robe, and then, somebody else wears short in the front, long in the back, but it's all like the same basic, simple flow.
The mullet of robes?
No, Pete.
I don't want to fight in a robe, personally. I want a cape.
You don't play a mage.
Occasionally I do. It's a rare sight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, none of this is really doing it for me. I do like that one of them has a veil instead of that mask.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of neat to me.
That's not the first veil we've gotten.
I know, but I think it looks cooler than the mask does. But yeah, the chest piece I kind of like a little bit. Especially the one in the middle looks like it has a red heart.
Basically, the only one you like is the tank set, so you're good.
Yeah. I mean, I will never wear it.
But you can appreciate it.
I will turn it in for seals.
I don't think I'll use a single piece off of this.
We'll see.
Yeah. It's just none of it feels new, and you can't dye it, so yeah.
And then the next thing that got teased was the mystery trial. All we got was a picture of some static.
Yeah, we got teased with nothing. Hey guys, here's a picture of nothing that you're gonna get some more nothing.
But we did get a little one sentence that said, "A fearsome new foe possessed of immeasurable might shall arise to test the warriors of darkness as they have never been tested before." If
they'd have said the warrior of light, it would have been a poem. It would have felt more poetic.
And then a little bit earlier, Chili said he predicts that it's going to be Ardbert phase 1 and Elidibus phase 2.
Yeah. I think that'd be kind of cool. I mean, it makes sense with the story. And we've kind of, we've heard that this is 5.3 is going to be heavy cutscenes. Cutscene heavy, story heavy. Like that's what the majority of what we're getting is lots and lots of story, which I am super pumped for because that's honestly what I want. We're supposed to be finishing up most of Shadowbringers, like almost all of it.
Like 99%.
99%. I don't know if we have that written down here later. So I don't know if I'm talking about stuff that's coming in advance. Oh, we do. So I'll stop talking and we'll just get there when we get there through the bullet points.
The only thing that makes me think we aren't going to be fighting Elidibus is I think they're probably going to continue his storyline into the next expansion, just because it seems it's like something that Square Enix likes to do.
But can you have Elidibus' story continue and finish 99% of Shadowbringers?
I mean, Elidibus has been around for so long that, yeah, I think.
I guess.
I feel like by finishing up Shadowbringer's storyline, they mean we're going to find a way home. We're going to be leaving the first.
I guess yeah, that 99% is difficult to break down because it all depends upon what they truly considers, considered to be that 100% of the Shadowbringers story.
Chili says, doesn't mean we're going to kill him. We could, or he could just warp away. And yeah.
That's like the Ascian's MO right there.
But that would be super unfulfilling to me as a fight.
Pete, what Ascian fight has been really fulfilling to you? Other than the last one.
I'd have to go back
Pete
and think
hates
about
the Ascians. He hates them so much.
Because they've been around for so long. Wrap it up, man.
Oh, all right. So we also got an update for the Sorrow of Wurlit. And the last update we get reads, the uneasy alliance forged with Gaius Balsar has paved the way to victory over the ruby weapon. Armed with knowledge of the location of the outpost from whence it came, the time has come to confront the Empire and bring a swift end to the diabolical weapon project. So then Pete's got some pictures.
Yeah, the first one is a close-up of Sapphire weapon. To me, it looks more white. I think they should have done more sapphire on it, but you got some sapphire accents on it.
It's like blue with like blue lights. Like the whites are definitely the accent.
I don't think so.
I feel like this is the night that Pete and I cannot agree on anything. It's blue enough.
It's blue enough.
Oh my gosh. All right. The second picture is of an airship piloted by Sid with Gaius in the foreground and one of the crew in the background. Would imagine that we're going to an outpost to investigate. Oh, I can't see who the crew is because, again,
it's the girl in his crew. I forget her name, if we even know her name.
I'm sure we do. I just can't see her. All right. And I'm sure chat will be like, come on, Pete, it's the I can't see her.
Probably like Gaius's associate or something like that. Probably doesn't even have a name.
That's not how this game works. Like, everyone has a name.
We didn't know Maximus's name for a while.
Yeah, but like every other NPC you see, we've seen her like standing around the world. Like, if you see her in the world, she's got a name above her head.
Hey, yes. Spookatron continued the gift sub they got from Batkid. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate you hanging around. It means you like us. So again, the Sorrow of Wurlit is not going to be a trial fight. This is going to be like a personal, but I read somewhere, I don't see the notes here, but that it's actually going to be like pretty, it's going to be a lot to it. So, it should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to try it out because those fights were designed really well. And the story that goes along with it is like the kind of side story that you really want to go along with something.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. Chili just said Sapphire Gundam weapon looks very much like that. Looks like has a lightsaber.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that image. When did you move that one? That's a picture number 3. You didn't tell me there's a picture number 3.
Surprise!
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Just because, like you were mentioning, the last one was really good. Not the Sorrow of Wurlit story, but the last like solo instance we got was really good. And
you didn't think the Sorrow of Wurlit story was good?
No, I thought the story was good, but
you didn't like the fight was good?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even do the fight, did you?
Not the harder version.
Oh,
but
yeah. Yeah, the fight was good, but what I'm saying is I'm more about the story than the fight. Like, it doesn't need to be an 8-man trial.
Got it. I was just trying to say, like, everything they'd done within that had been done really well.
Yeah, the fight was a lot of fun, but it's not like I needed an 8-man trial to enjoy this.
Right.
Because I was really looking forward to the Gaius storyline. I think Gaius and his adopted family is pretty engaging. So I'm looking forward to that.
And watch them all die.
And
sorry.
The 5.3 special site also listed basically everything they've ever talked about so far.
Now, if only they would create a trailer to catch you all up on everything that has happened. I really wish there was like a I think the other cat just fell off the windowsill. It was so loud.
She's done that like 3 times today.
Back up. Oh my god. A cat household. Sorry, guys. I don't know if it was as loud to you as it was to us. It was really loud. But I actually, I think we were talking in Discord. I think it'd be really cool if Square Enix, I mean, it's too late now with 5.3 coming so soon, but if they had like a competition put out for people to create like previously in Shadowbringers sort of trailer, I don't know, I just think that'd be so cool to see, like a put together of that.
You're not busy, Abby. I think you should do it.
I'm not busy? Oh yeah, okay. Sounds about right.
But yeah, most of the stuff they listed on here we already knew about, but I'm hoping we get a little more information on a few during the next live letter. I want more information on the faux hollows, which is a new difficulty level of old primals. We're going to be getting Shiva for the first one. So,
was it called Faux Hollows? Faux Hollows I thought was the name of the game that you can unlock from doing it.
Oh yeah, Unreal Trials, and then that leads into Faux Hollows.
So I thought this was really interesting. So the Unreal Trials, what they're going to be is they're basically going to be taking our OG fights, and the mechanics are all going to be the same, but like the amount of HP that the mob has and the damage they do equivocates it to like level 80, which is really cool. And then what happens is instead of you like spamming that trial to try to get a mount drop or whatever, you beat it, and then you have the opportunity to play the Faux Hollows game, which from there you're able to win a mount and or minion. And then one of the other cool things is that this is seasonal.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that the mount and the minion like correlate with the actual boss fight, because I think that would be really cool. It'd be like, you know, your Shiva horse and getting your different horses, but instead of having to
I pictured us riding Shiva around.
Instead of you having to spam the fight, they've kind of taken like a tip of what's been going on, you know, with the restoration of Ishgard, where you collect these things, you craft these things, and you have the opportunity to unlock this mini game. And I do feel like Final Fantasy 14 is very into this whole mini game concept right now, and so I'd be really curious to see how it sort of relates with PvE. So this is the first time seeing it kind of tie in with PvE. The other thing I like is that in regards to PvE, we don't have anything seasonal right now. And so I really like the idea that this is going to be like a seasonal PvE thing. And I hope it works out really well. And it's a lot of fun, because this would be the kind of thing that I would actually like want to beat, because the mount and the minion is only available for a limited amount of time. So I would be personally more driven to try to get it than one that's just always going to be there. And if I ever feel like getting it, I can just wait till the fight's easier and just go do it then. Like there's no like incentive to do it right away.
So if they were like Ruby Weapon is only going to last until the next patch, you would do it?
Well, if there was like a cool reward for him that was like a mount, yeah, like that I liked or something like that. Yeah, like I think it makes it more. There's more incentive to do it. I also,
you know, a lot of people hate that.
What?
The timed events, seasonal timed events.
But we don't have any of those in 14. We have seasonal events that are like special events only, but like we had the one with the monster hunters, that seasonal event. I didn't really enjoy that fight, and I felt like you had to do it too many times to get the reward, which was a reward I personally didn't really like the aesthetic of. So I didn't put the effort into it. So I'm not saying just because it's a seasonal like fight, I'm going to do it. But if there's a thing that I want or I enjoy the fight, I'm actually really curious to see how these fights are revisited. I thought it was really funny that they're like, and no, we're not going to start with Titan. We don't want everybody to be all pissed off. I'm like, that's the one I wanted to start with. I wanted to do Titan first, like, because that fight was just so hard. I would love to like have it be hard again.
They make it seem like people that did it at the time are like traumatized by it.
No,
and you're awakening PTSD in them if they were to bring it back.
I mean, already you're not going to sit dead on the ground, unable to watch the mechanics as they progress. So it's already better. So I would love to see that.
Yes, and people are pointing out that the Monster Hunter event is still going on.
It is still going. Yeah, see, so these events are supposed to be around until the next patch. So it's a long period of time. Like you get a good period of time, and the next patch, that's when they'll change it through. But yeah, so see, I didn't even realize.
I'm saying people lose their shit when there's like exclusive to another country, like when China or Korea.
But that's why it all ends up available on the cash shop anyway.
Yeah, but
which I don't like either.
I don't think they should put like content rewards into the cash shop, like they require you beating something. I don't think they'll ever put that into the cash shop. Just
bringing this up because the seasonal PvE thing is very big in ESO, and you talk a lot of shit about ESO and their cash shop, but I do have to say those seasonal items that you have to play the game during that time to get, you can't pay cash and get them later. You have to play the game at that time to get it.
I really have nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying a lot of people do.
Yeah. Well, because everybody, it's the gimme. Everybody wants everything, especially the things they can't have.
Yeah, but I at the same time I understand it, because maybe you start playing today, and then by the time you get up to level for that content, it's gone. And you're like, fuck, I really wanted that mount.
Well, but that's different. That's a seasonal event. I think that getting upset because an item is available on the Korean cash shop, but it's not available here is a reasonable thing to get upset about, because there is literally no reason it shouldn't be. Like, they can be available.
It's exclusive to them. It's to get them to subscribe to the game so they get us a little exclusive thing.
Is it going to make people, like, if it was available to everyone, would it make it less, unlikely to subscribe to get it? No. I don't, only subscribe because I can only get it in the United States. I subscribe because I want the thing. It doesn't matter if people in the United States can get it too. There's no I'm subscribing because you can't get it.
That's, you give something to those dirty French people. I am not subscribing.
That makes no sense.
People complain about anything.
We are great examples of that.
Chili says the Korean version is made by a different company and the Chinese version.
Oh, I didn't realize it was made by a different company. All right, well, there you go for that. Well, then you can't even complain. It's the same game made by a different company, so that's not going to be the same.
I think we should all get an exclusive item on our birthday.
Yeah, okay, whatever, Pete. No.
Moving on. For me. So what are we moving on to? Oh, we got some interviews. It looks like Yoshida made the rounds with some Zoom interviews with some Japanese outlets the other day. So this information is from those sites that had interviews, and then a Reddit user named 11mile went and translated those articles. So there's plenty of room for a piece of information to be mistranslated, either, from that outlet themselves or from the person doing the translating. So just keep an open mind that this might not be 100%.
And remember, with what happened to Mione before, if someone else is delivering this news, give them a break if it ends up being wrong. They're just delivering the news.
Give anyone a break if it's wrong. Who gives a shit? Be surprised.
You just talked about how much people like to complain.
Yes.
There you go.
So shout out to 11mile on Reddit for the great work you did for this. We're going to go through quickly of the stuff we already know. Patch 5.3 is a conclusion arc of Shadowbringers. Going to be a lot of cutscenes and voiceovers for this patch. They say it's one of the largest for a single patch at release. They say pay close attention to the ASEAN Elidibus.
So you're reading through these way faster than I would.
Well, we already knew a lot of this.
So, okay. But doesn't mean we can't still talk about it.
What do you want to talk about the length?
I already talked about that one earlier. But I'm just saying, I didn't want you to continue that pace for the rest of it, was more of why I was breaking in.
I'm just going to continue that pace on the shit we already know. There are going to be quite an amount of conversations that may contain hints on later developments. This isn't immediately obvious depending on the timing.
So I'm wondering what sort of conversations are going to be containing these hints. If it's conversations in the main story, or is this going to be NPCs that you can talk to? If who you talk to and where you get these different hints, and how interesting it'll be and whether or not those conversations will change after you've done the story.
I think it's all going to be in the MSQ. They don't really do anything where it's you get different shit depending on who you go talk to about anything.
You don't know, they might.
I mean, part of this development is during a pandemic. I don't think they're going to branch out into
They're doing new
shit. Systems right away. Patch 5.3 will resolve about 99% of the story from Shadowbringers, and while it seemed unlikely to have any leftover elements that will be brought over to 5.4, the possibility is still there.
There will be no resolution as to why we have two strongest primals, including Zodiark and Hydaelyn, as well as what's going to happen to them. There are, however, a few things to note. 1, we are now heading toward and finally stepping into the conclusion portion of the Hydaelyn Zodiac arc. 2, there will be a pinch of, oh wow, looks like things are going to get really bad elements written into once the patch 5.3 story ends. So expect to end on a massive cliffhanger.
You will also get to learn the direction Garlemald is headed in patch 5.3 as well.
That's because I think patch 5.4 is going to be all about Garlemald, which is kind of what you were hoping for.
Yeah, I think the next expansion is going to be the big head with Garlemald, so they have to lay the groundwork for that.
Right. I agree. I think that's kind of what they're setting everything up for. I really hope that the Garlemald story can be as strong as Shadowbringers has been. I definitely don't find them as interesting as what we've seen here, but they could obviously create amazing characters, hopefully new characters, or give more humanity to the ones we've got in Garlemald?
I think they need to do something to make Xenos a little bit more interesting. Yeah, because I'm not really in on new Xenos.
Yeah, Xenos is pretty One Direction for me.
Thank you for that sub, Zalbag8.
Really appreciate it.
But yeah, I don't know. I also think there has to be like something left in the first for us to have a reason to go back occasionally. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that's interesting because I just hate having unused assets of the game. Just how I hate we hardly ever have to revisit the old zones. I wish they would give us some reason. So I don't know if maybe one Scion's going to stay there, even though there's a lot of story that involves us like physically not being able to stay, like we're going to get ripped to shreds or whatever, or lose our souls. But maybe they just fix that and they're able to stay.
Maybe. I just kind of looking at this and I noticed like you separated these interviews from the stuff we just talked about. So we're literally going to like repeat topics. And I feel like you should have separated these all together.
Don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, anyways. Oh, thank you, Olan. That's who Zalbag is.
And the next thing they went in about was the Yorha Dark Apocalypse, which is the 24-man raid. There will be more emphasis on near elements for the continuation. Starting in the second tier.
What do you think that means?
It's going to be more near-like.
Like, do you mean the fights? Do you mean the environment? Do you think the environment can be more near than it was before?
Yeah, it could be.
Do you think the story?
Yeah, I mean, Nier was pretty weird. There was nothing like really weird about this story.
Right.
Hopefully we just have more story in general.
Definitely. I totally agree with that. I definitely feel like the first of the 24-man raid felt like an introduction to that world, which yes, it's like a different world, but it'll be really interesting to see. Chili just says hopefully more like the original Nier, but I actually, from what I've heard is, and it's the next thing, starting the second tier is going to cause the players to think, aren't we approaching the Nier Automata territory already? So it's not going to be so much like the Nier. It's definitely going to be more like the Nier Automata. So it's definitely going into more of that newer.
And I haven't played any of the other Niers, so I have no idea.
So you're okay with that.
The equipments for this tier are hinted by Yoshida to be the ones you see in the promotional image, the shadowy figures, which 2P faces.
Do you have that image to pull up?
I do not.
Oh, I thought for sure you would. So yeah, that's like the title image with 2B in the front, or 2P in the front, and then behind her you see kind of like other versions of her they're in different outfits. I definitely think that, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of versions of her you can see in the background, and that kind of falls along with, I think it's going to be the class gear that we get. So I think that's, like our casters back there, our melee, all that kind of stuff. And that's just kind of a hint at like the awesomeness of the gear that they designed. So you get
the little silhouettes.
Yeah, basically that's what it is.
One of them kind of looks like Carmen Sandiego.
There's no hat.
Right there.
That's not a big enough hat for Carmen. Her hat was amazing. There weren't any comments about whether we'll be receiving them as a set in a box or separately. Well, they say that, but then they also say that there isn't going to be an equipment reward. So there isn't really going to be a box because people got so upset about that. So I think that this means that that's the gear set pieces that people are going to get, because the gear set pieces in the first 24-man raid were designed just as well as the box set, in my opinion. Like, it's all great.
Yeah, and I think in this interview, they do kind of swap between equipment rewards, which I think is the 2B outfit or whatever it was called, and then equipment design, which I think is the actual gear that drops.
Gear design, yeah.
So yeah, there's not going to be like the 2B dress reward equivalent. They're going to have, I don't know if it's token system or what, or if you're just going to get it automatically.
From the quest. I think this is going to happen. When you finish the quest, you'll probably get, I didn't play near Pier, the guy, FS?
9s.
9S. Is it 9s or 9S?
I think he said call me 9s or something.
But I wouldn't be, I've heard a lot of people have been really interested in getting his attire. So I could see that being something we get once you complete this portion of the 24-man raid, which I do think that like the 2B attire should have been, you should have just been given it once you complete the quest for that section. It shouldn't have been it definitely kept the queues fast, which was nice.
I mean, I think they could just make it so you can only win it once.
But that wasn't even the point. Like, yes, only being able to win it once is one thing, definitely. But two, you shouldn't have to farm it for a glamour thing like that. Like, that drops every time.
It's kind of always been the way. I think it's expected.
They haven't done that, but that was the only time they did that.
No, but I'm saying like anything that you want, like any reward.
But they've
like
never done it with gear like
whether
that.
It's a
they'd never done it
minion-
with a gear set like that. Like that was always something you would get from a quest. This was the first time they did it. Like,
Did we ever have anything like this from a 24-man raid
not
before?
from a 24-man raid, but from other things, other events and stuff.
I'd be totally okay if they kept it how it was.
But you don't. That's because you don't care.
But just make it so you can only win it once. That's what the problem was. That's what people were complaining, that people were winning it a whole bunch of times and just
hoarding it,
destroying it in front of them.
Yeah, but I mean, I just simplify it. Just don't do it. Just make it something you get at the end of the quest. I do think that the design of all of the gear, for the different classes was so well done that like I personally wanted like the gear for my actual jobs more than I did that gear. Because I liked all the different pieces you got with it. I thought
everyone wanted to get that booty, though.
Mm-hmm.
It was worth farming for. The equipment rewards for this tier are done with the supervision of the Nier team, with the design from the Final Fantasy XIV team, and they work together to create the variation of equipments for all roles.
And I think that just means essentially that the gear has the feel of Nier, but also it aesthetically matches each of the classes, which I think is really cool. Because you kind of need to work together to make sure that like the tanks look like tanks do in Final Fantasy XIV, but the gear also feels appropriate for Nier. So they work together to make sure that they got that kind of that right mesh of both.
The equipment design for the third entry of Yorha Dark Apocalypse is already done and is currently entering production.
Yay!
The good news is the devs aim to create those equipments to have more variation and pattern based on Nier's lore.
I'm not super familiar with Nier's lore because you've played the one, I haven't played any of them, but I do think it's wonderful that they are maintaining that with it throughout it, because that's the kind of stuff that people really appreciate, is that attention to detail.
I mean, yeah, we have plenty of Final Fantasy XIV gear, and it seems like, especially with every dungeon nowadays, you seem to, I don't notice it because I don't glamour, but you're like,
not every dungeon,
but almost. But you're like, okay, so they're recycling something from that dungeon. This kind of looks like that. So it's nice to have a new, like, fresh look in the game.
Whenever the gear is based off of character designs, the gear ends up being really cool looking. The dungeon sets that are based off the character designs have all been really amazing. Like the wolf sets were great. I don't know if that one was. And then there's the one, it's the feathers. God, I'm so bad with the dungeons. But it's the one that, the dungeon that, the Ilmeg dungeon. The one that looks like, or maybe it's not Ilmeg. I haven't played the game in a while, guys. Pete's not going to help me. This is the one that looks like a golf course to you?
Yeah, isn't that the Don Meg attire?
Don Meg attire. I don't remember what it's called. I'm just telling you. Like that one, both those sets were really, really cool looking. This particular set, most recent one, dropped the ball.
So I'm always okay when they add stuff that doesn't necessarily fit with Final Fantasy aesthetic, except for that dumb motorcycle.
Well, no. It's not in my opinion, it's not the Final Fantasy aesthetic. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the dancer job. Their outfits have a particular feel, just like the monks have a particular feel. It doesn't have to look like Final Fantasy attire. It can look like Nier attire, but it needs to look like Nier attire that a monk would wear.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I mean.
I get you.
Ooh, Disco Cub made a good point. I'm still waiting on Lisa's attire from the end of Stormblood. You know, I'm surprised we haven't gotten that too. I loved that outfit.
I'm still waiting on Lise from the end of Stormblood.
She's just like,
where the fuck is she?
Bye, Felicia.
What's she doing?
She done.
They talk about patch 5.3 a little bit. They're keeping it a secret. And the rewards will be weapons.
What eye level do you think they're going to be?
Oh, I haven't even thought about that yet. I have to go back and look up.
I'm surprised. You're always the guy who's like, yes, I got the eye level right.
We'll do that like closer to the patch. I don't do it this far. I mean, but it follows a fucking formula. I could just go look at past what the jump is normally. We'd figure it out. Disco
Keb says that Lisa's attire would be perfect for a dancer, and I think that's because she was supposed to be a dancer and they ran out of time. Look at the similarities in the dancer outfit and that outfit. Same colors, same shoe shape, yeah, she's supposed to be a dancer.
Oh, I thought he meant that's what he would cosplay to the Democratic National Convention.
You don't assume gender.
I know his gender.
Oh, okay.
Now we have the Unreal Trials and Faux Hollows,
which we were talking about earlier as well. Like, this is what I was saying when I'm like, why didn't we pair this together?
Hey, Bat Kid is back, gifting a couple subs.
My goodness. Thank you so much, Bat Kid.
Thank you, Bat Kid. Good to see you.
So we were talking about the Unreal Trials and the faux hollows, which I'd already read a lot of this, and I didn't know this was pasted lower in the podcast notes, so I already talked about some of it.
Explain it. Just keep going. No one was listening back then.
I'm not going to go over it again because we already talked about like all of this.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything in these notes that I didn't say.
I will say when they first announced it, I thought they were going to be updating some of the mechanics, but from this, apparently not. It's just going to be the same mechanics.
I think that's great. I actually am totally down because they're not. Like, I was like, well, why? I don't want it to be different. I want to be able to do it again and have it be a challenge. So I think that's really cool.
To me, it's like I want something new, and it's not going to really feel new.
You get new stuff all the time. Why not
I haven't got new shit for like 6 months.
well, no, but like, they never. You literally talk about every podcast how you wish they would go back and use old zones and do old things again and make them reusable.
I think it's great, but
this is them taking old fights and like making them like reusable. Like if you change the mechanics, then all you're doing is taking the old mob, the old like character design. And if you're taking the same fight but just increasing the damage and the HP, then you're legitimately reusing it, which is what you've said you wanted for so many things.
But I hope they at least don't do it in the same exact order. Reuse moves, fine.
I don't care if it's in why does that matter?
I want it to feel a little different. I'm not saying I'm right. But I'm just saying that's what I would want.
We always get new stuff. That's like new content is released. That's literally a thing. New content, new stuff. This is just like a facelift for older stuff. That we've already gotten redone versions of all of the primals, like just recently. Why do we need that again?
You lost me on that one.
We just got that with the most recent like Alexander fights or whatever the fuck they were called now.
Are you talking about Ultimate?
Yes. It's the versions of Leviathan. It's the version of...
Yeah, but that shit is hard.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why do you... We already have different versions of them. Why do you want to have... like another version of them where they just look the same but the fight's different? Like you wanted to. I think they did the right choice with this. I think you're just complaining to complain right now.
That's not my MO.
I know I mean Eden Chili. I don't know. I don't fucking care. I didn't do it. They're all I'm gonna always call it Alexander whenever it's like the side stuff. It's Alexander.
Chili's saying the Unreal Trial should have new attacks if I remember right. I went back and looked at the slide when they first announced it, and they didn't mention any new attacks on the slide. And then this interview says mechanics remain the same, so maybe there's a reorganization of some mechanics to maybe make it feel a little fresher. But I'm not expecting anything real new from it. Basically, just a boss with more HP and does more damage. How is that any better than just like doing it at minimum eye level? Because
you don't have to like convince other people to do it with you like that. Like you can't just queue for it and do it that way. You have to like actively have a full group of people and decide beforehand to do it that way. Where this, you're just queuing for the thing and it's essentially like, okay, it's going to be harder.
And I am curious if they've really had enough time to test this or not. I have a feeling that it might be a little bit easier than they were thinking.
I hope it's not easier than they're thinking, because that is the thing, is that for those of us that have been playing the game for a long time, we still know those mechanics really well. Like, but it would be really cool, like if they brought the old turns back, you know, like and the old fights. Like you don't know, those are still difficult.
Well, wasn't that what the first Ultimate was?
I don't remember.
It was like 5, 9, and 12.
Well, this is different than Ultimate, though.
Yes.
This isn't the same thing.
But I'm just saying, like, they're adding the HP, they're scaling it to level 80 or whatever, but now we have all our level 80 abilities to do it.
I also think they'll probably, and Chili kind of made a comment, I expect it to get harder, and I agree with that. I don't think they're going to start with it too hard, because they're trying to find that like happy in the middle area with it.
They didn't want to do Titan.
Right. And so they'll start there, and then they can adjust, and that's part of releasing one with each patch. Means they don't have to have them all ready to go. They can kind of tweak and adjust and work with it how they want.
And like you mentioned earlier, by doing this, it's going to be a weekly thing you can do, and then you unlock the faux hollow minigame weekly, and you can have a chance at a mount and a minion as rewards.
It's only weekly to get the chance at the reward? I didn't see that.
They said it's going to be a weekly thing. Because
I think you can only win I don't think you're only going to get to play the minigame once. I can't see you only being getting, because then you'll only get like so many chances to win it. Like it's way less times. I feel like you can only like maybe I don't know. I don't feel like that would
maybe
that makes
they're
sense.
making it really exclusive.
Because that's too exclusive. That'll piss people off.
Because the next note says they know you will eventually end up getting bored of it, and if you repeat the same routine every week, therefore bosses will be swapped after each patch.
Yeah. Where did it say though? Each week it changes.
Well, it says you'll get bored of repeating the same routine every week.
That literally to me only reads as that's why they're swapping the boss out each patch.
And why wouldn't they say bored of the same thing every patch?
You'd literally set this whole segment up with thank you for translating this for us.
I think it's going to be a weekly thing.
I don't.
Well, too bad I don't have a sound effect where we can make a bet.
I don't make bets. Even if you did that, I don't make. You always try to get me to make a bet, and I won't.
Okay, let's move on.
I don't think you'll be able to like win it more than once a week or something, but there's a chance. Like I don't know.
Move on to the Ishgardian. Oh wait, Chronicles of New Era. Sorrow Warlet. I don't think there was anything new in this.
You didn't have to read it out loud. You just skip.
One man thing. Blah blah blah. Ishgardian Restoration. Scheduled to be released on patch 5.31, which is estimated to be 3 to 4 weeks after 5.3. The ranking period specifics will be the same as before, lasting around 10 days. The rewards are titles, wah, wah, but different from the previous. Scoring top ranking for the second ranking period will net you the reward from that specific timeline.
Are you really complaining that Ishgard Restoration doesn't have more prizes? I mean, that freaking thing gives so many different rewards.
I think we should get a mount that's exclusive
There's
just
like
for that
three
thing.
different mounts you can get just from Ishgard Restoration. I think they've got plenty of mounts.
But they're always there. I want something for the people who will be grinding their asses off.
Okay.
Because I am not one of them. I would not get this mount. Because it's just too much grinding. Like 10 days, gotta do all that shit in 10 days? Hell no. Not doing that. Okay, so this information. Save the Queen and the Southern Boja front lines, unforgiven, unforgotten. Scheduled to be released 1.5 months after patch 5.3, which is 5.35. To be expected, that's usually how they do stuff like this. I wasn't expecting it in 5.3. The scale of this content is larger than when Eureka first started. You will have a separate leveling system called the Resistance Rank. Kind of sounds similar to Elemental Level.
Does
to
a
me.
bit. But you can level up them easily by doing this on your own. So unlike Eureka, you don't actually have to be in a party. And I think that's like one of the biggest changes here. Like that says they listened. Because you can't go back and do Eureka and try to do all that older content now because you need a party for most of it.
I will say I went back and
you didn't try to do the end stuff.
The Baldessian Arsenal. You
have to have a group. Yeah, and so like, what's the point of doing all of that if you're not going to be able to do that part of it?
But I think there's still enough people that want to do Baldessian Arsenal. That was like the one redeeming feature.
Well, that's an assumption,
Eureka.
though.
I know people do that. People lead groups for that.
But you
like,
have
weekly.
The thing is that to do it now, people have to organize and put together a group to do it. They can't just show up and try to do it.
Yeah, it's not like the past relics where you can just go do them all on your own now.
That's my point, is that so this to me says that we listened and understand that you don't like that you have to do that in order to do the content. So now we've changed that. They've listened.
I will say, like, my problem with Eureka was not the ability to be able to do it solo. Like, I didn't mind joining a group for that stuff. It was just that the content was mind-numbingly boring. And, like, the second part of Eureka was basically the same as the first part of Eureka.
Well, I mean, it was kind of annoying if you came in and you were a lower level and you had to, like, you didn't really get decent experience if you were solo. You had to be in a party when it first started out. And so then you were,
but
like,
it was still quicker
stuck.
just to join the train and get
But if the train was further away from you, you couldn't get to them. You were stuck. Like, so it was literally just, there was a lot of stuff that didn't work out really well.
There will be actions that are specific only to the Southern Boja frontline for available for use based on feedback from Eureka. The actions are called Lost Actions.
And you're going to have like specific goals this time, such as like to destroy the enemy's fort, which sounds kind of like a fate.
Yeah, I mean, basically any objective like that is going to be a fate in this game.
So you can join both skirmishes and critical engagement. So a skirmish ends with a battle report, which, depending on how you perform, will give you more rank points. So that's also kind of squadron-like, which is interesting. Grand Company-like, with your points ranking up.
But there's no NPCs in this.
You don't know that? Oh, like your squadron. No, like Grand Company rank squad, like I said as well. Because your squadron, you're setting out to increase your own rank as well. You have to do stuff with your squadron for you to rank up.
Okay.
You do. You have to run certain dungeons with your squadron to increase your Grand Company rank.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. My God, you guys, this is the day like Pete and I are not on the same page like about anything.
I mean, I don't see how that has anything to do with this.
It just reminds me of that.
Okay.
That was it. Literally just reminds me of it. Okay, so both the skirmishes and the critical engagements take place in southern Baja, and they supposedly trigger all the time.
The skirmish side is basically joining an operation, which has the same system as a fate, like you kind of alluded to, where everyone can freely join to accumulate battle points. The rate of it happening is high. Critical engagement is a new event type battle that is developed specifically for Southern Baja frontline. There are conditions to trigger them, and it's mostly about the Garlean Empire launching an assault at you and your allies. You can queue for it anywhere within the area, and players will be selected randomly by the system if the minimum capacity to join the content is reached.
This continues again with listening to us. You don't have to be, it's not you're queuing as a party. It's random.
Mm-hmm.
Randomly selecting you. I think that's good.
Yeah, I enjoy that as well.
I think that's a very, very good improvement. And I'm actually curious if they're going to try to... Fucking cat. They're going to try to implement this in other parts of the game. Where like you'll be queued in with something with people in the same zone as you. I can see this being an element that they'll try to implement into other things going forward. If it works out well.
That'd be interesting if they did any sort of open world content like that. I would kind of enjoy that.
Well, no, it cues you into an instance place from that particular open world.
I mean, I'm not mad at the idea, but I'd have to see, what they come up with for
kind
that.
of one thing I'm thinking is like doing MSQ. A lot of times you get to a particular zone with the story and then you have to queue for a dungeon. Well, what if they like randomly pulled from the people that were already in that? I don't know. Just like that
would like lower the player pool even more.
Not that that's going to happen, but I'm just saying like something like that could happen with like smaller instanced things rather than just dungeons. I don't know. It's just an idea.
I think this next part is good. There are items where you can obtain them that grants you the priority to join the content, and players who contributed to the item obtained within the party will be... Damn, this is worded weird. Basically, there's items you can get that's going to give you priority to enter the instance.
So if you did the effort and you basically made sure that all of the elements that happened for it to trigger go off, you're more likely to get in rather than just a random person queuing.
Yeah, someone goes into the zone just because they want to do it. They can stand at the entrance and yes, they might be selected to go in, but if enough people are actually getting these items, then they would all have priority over that person.
Which is very good.
Once all conditions are met, the group will be brought into the instance and conduct a battle from there.
So, and the objectives, there's a bunch of different objectives once you get in there. It can be from like destroy this big weapon to defeat this big enemy. That's really different.
I know they say it can like range from this to that, but I'm like, is there going to be an actual range? Or
it sounds like the exact same thing. Large type weapon, large scale army.
It's like, are there going to be anything in between? Or is it just like one extreme where you're fighting one large thing, or the other extreme where you're fighting
the other large thing?
1,000 ducks. Like one big duck or 1,000 ducks.
Thank you, Raw Chicken Baguette. You have one of my favorite names.
Thank you, Raw Chicken.
Oh, they gifted. Thank
Baguette.
you. All right, so this... Okay, so...
Because if it's only two things... that's going to get boring pretty quickly.
Well, they say it can range. So when there's a range, there's usually at least 3 things.
That's what I'm saying. I hope there's some shit in between.
There's usually at least 3. It's one or the other, a range.
Give me 50 normal-sized ducks.
Is at least 3 things. Oh my God, if we fought a bunch of ducks, that'd be cool. So the way they say is, think about this like a boss battle that content requires 24 to 48 players to gather and defeat. But what I wanted to talk about was this next segment, which actually sounds really, really cool. Because there's also bonus content where if you score excellent results within the critical engagement battle, then you get to initiate a one-on-one duel with the enemy general. So only one person gets to participate, but so like rather than like one man savage, it's like a one man ultimate is how Yoshi describes it. But the coolest thing about this is since it's a one-on-one battle, like everyone else gets to sit on the sidelines and watch. This feels very much kind of like Odin to me, like the Odin fate back in the day, where whoever like did the killing blow, you know, like
got to be
Odin the next time. Like, I don't know why they haven't done more stuff like that, because that was so freaking cool. Like, it was so unique. We don't have anything like that, and this feels kind of like that. And I just think that's probably the most exciting thing to me about this whole little segment we're talking about, is that this the potential for this one-on-one fight, which I don't ever expect it to be me, but I would love to watch.
It's like they're trying to incentivize people to play their jobs well.
What?
I think it's cool. I kind of don't like that it's only one person.
I love that about it.
Like, because it's like...
This game does not have enough things that are like, I'm badass, like they used to. Like Oak just said, being Odin was a badge of honor in classic Final Fantasy XIV, and we don't have any badge of honor stuff anymore. Like, we just don't, and we need that. And this sounds like that to me. And this is like, if I saw somebody walking around with whatever cool thing you get from defeating them on the one-on-one, I'm like, that person's amazing.
But
like,
you know, most likely, like, well, they don't tell us what it's based off of. If it's pure DPS or what. But if it's like pure DPS, healer's never going to get there.
Well, it could be. We don't know. We don't know. And if they're not, it's gonna be funny. Watch, it's gonna be like, samurai is most likely to get there, and so you're gonna go into this thing. It's gonna be like 40 samurai, but 2 tanks, and 6
Don't you think
healers.
it would be kind of cool if it just picked like the best tank, the best healer, and the two top DPS, and then all of a sudden you're in a group together and gotta kill this thing?
I don't know how the person is being selected, so no. Because I think it's so cool that it's a one-on-one thing that everyone gets to watch. And Olan just said, you underestimate my healing abilities. I know, I mean, Chili basically plays White Mage as a DPS, so, like, come on, then Blood Lily is all about the damage.
I guess if it's a...
It can't just be solely based on DPS.
If it's a large-scale army, maybe a healer has time to get enough AoE on them.
I don't think it's going to be solely based on DPS. It's gonna be, like, contribution-based or something. Like, I don't really know. It'll be really cool to see how they determine this, but... In basic concept, I think this is really cool.
They can't even get the frickin' training dummies for Stone Sky Sea to scale for a healer. So if they can, like...
Okay, well, I don't care about it being a healer. Like, healers don't generally go in and go, I want a one-on-one fight with the general. That's not... People don't play healer who want to do that. That's, like, not the mindset of most healers, except if you're, like, Chili and Olan or something. But, like, I just think it's a really cool thing. I think that... This used to be something that Final Fantasy XIV had. You used to see people in certain gear and have certain stuff and be like, wow, that person's awesome. And now everyone just covers it up with glamours and uses the prettiest thing, and it's just not a thing anymore. And it makes me sad, because that's like so classic MMO, is to like covet what other people have and things that you like know you'll never be able to do, but be like, that is so cool. Oh my god, guys, I'm friends with the dude who beat the general one-on-one. I fucking know him. We like party together. Like, I love that. I think that MMOs need that.
Maybe if this is popular, this can be like how they decide who gets the loot at the end of the 24-man raid. Like, if you were the best on that raid, you get the 2B outfit.
No.
Then you can only get it once.
I don't know. That's different. No, because that's not fun. That's just like then people get toxic about stuff. Like, oh, you didn't make me your dance partner. You gave somebody else the better DPS because no. This is just cool. This is just a really cool idea, and I hope it comes across as neat as like it is in my head. Like, I think it's really cool. Everyone's gonna really want those emotes with like the cheer emotes with the like the lights, the red, the blue, and then everybody's gonna go get those songbird emotes.
So it says more of a one-man set. It's not a one-man savage. It's more of a one-man ultimate.
It said that.
But then he goes on to say the one-on-one duel may be easy for players who are extremely battle-oriented.
So it is more DPS based, which is that's fine. I don't hate that. If I want to go into this content, if I want a chance at doing that, I'm not going to play my healer then.
I don't know if that necessarily means DPS oriented. I think it means like dealing with a lot of AoE. This boss is probably going to be throwing a lot of shit at you. So if you're not used to moving out of a whole bunch of shit, you might be in trouble.
Also say, Pete, this is a translation. So you don't know if battle is the right word there or if it was damage oriented.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not
claiming to be the end-all, know-all. I'm going off by the information we have.
No, but what I'm saying is you can't trust the information we have.
Yes, I know. Baldesion Arsenal equivalent large-scale content will be implemented in patch 5.4. The dev team aims to create a new system that makes it more accessible after taking in opinions from the players. I think that was because a lot of people wanted to do Baldesion Arsenal, but the first thing was there was many large steps to get there in the first place.
I love that mount.
And then once you get there, there was a lot of planning involved. You basically had to be in the Baldesion Arsenal Discord to set it up.
I love that mount. I would love to have that mount, but like the amount of effort involved to just get to possibly even have it, nah, I'm cool. I don't need it.
There will be 2 difficulties planned for the content. The content doesn't require much pre-preparation, which is like preparation before your preparation, and is created as large-scale content where everyone gets to participate. I don't know if they needed to go to the step of 2 different difficulties for this.
I don't know.
If you make it accessible for people, I think that's fine. You don't need to fuck with the difficulty of it.
You literally just disagree with like everything the game does, though. There's like the normal version and there's the extreme version. Like they do that with everything, so it kind of makes sense to me.
No, they only do it with trials and raids.
Right, but you just talked about how like the Baldesion Arsenal, like to get it there was like it was too much, but I wanted the reward.
But I wasn't complaining about the difficulty of the fight.
But the difficulty to get there. I don't hate this. I'm not going to complain about getting options.
When they say 2 different difficulties, I assume they're talking about like the actual.
Well, the whole thing with this is that people have the option to go through this and complete it by just doing story stuff. So one of them is going to be the opportunity most likely to do the large scale event based on story. And then the other one is going to be people who want to continue and farm for stuff. Yeah. So it's the same exact thing.
We'll see. And Oakenhop's continuing the gift sub from KK McLeod. Aww. Thank you, Oak. To upgrade your resistance weapon, there will be quests. Felt like I said that weird. There will be quests prepared for it. You can upgrade them purely by going through quests from the beginning.
Which I just said, because I actually read stuff.
There are 2 methods to upgrade your weapon. You can upgrade them purely by going through story quests as mentioned above, or you can do skirmishes and obtain the necessary items from there too.
I think the whole thing is that if you're going through story, it's going to be slower and easier, but if you decide to go through the skirmishes, it's going to be a lot more intense and challenging, but you'll also get it done faster. But you'll also likely have to do stuff with other people, and if you're just doing it from the quests, I also wonder if the first time you do it, it's going to automatically put you through on story, and kind of like I feel like I don't know. I was going to say I felt like it was like that originally, and the other ones you had to kind of go do stuff, but I'm not sure. But I feel like maybe the first one you'll be able to upgrade through story, and then after that you go do skirmishes and stuff like that. I'm not really sure, because I don't see you being able to go and do the story for each weapon you're trying to upgrade. I don't see how that would work out.
I'm not necessarily thinking it's going to be a story per se. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a quest line.
I mean, quests are usually a story.
I don't know. Maybe they'll just make it repeatable, because I guess technically the one we have now is a quest. They'll just make it so you can repeat it.
Okay. I'm totally down with I like that this section here, more than any content we've ever gotten from Square Enix, they're like, hey, I hear you. And I'm going to adjust based off of the things that you have said that you don't like.
I'm excited because maybe they'll be like, holy shit, people really like fighting over this siege weapon or fighting this large army. What if we made PvP like that?
Why don't you go on the forums and like actually talk about that?
They don't care.
Yes, they do. This right here legitimately shows that they do care, that they read the forum, that the things you don't like, the things you want changed, they read
want
them.
Instance PvP.
No, Pete, if you go on and you make like a legitimate case for it, this shows that they will implement those changes eventually.
I've lost all faith in Square Enix PvP.
You've never actually gone and like shared your opinion on an official forum with Square Enix. You've only talked about it on podcasts.
Hey, they're listening.
No, they're not.
Okenhop says, reading the forums is guaranteed to reduce IQ and testosterone by 33%.
But KK also said lawyered.
I think he was saying that to me.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. Chili just said they even announced that they have tested open world PvP. So shut your face.
Sure.
Spookatron, I believe they're listening. Your nose just grew a little bit there, hon.
Maybe he works for Square Enix. He knows. He's on the inside.
Oh my god.
Giving them our ideas.
All right, so as we said, there are two methods that you can upgrade your weapon. You can upgrade them purely by going through...
said that.
Okay.
How it works, Avi? Do that one. Do it in a funny voice, though.
No. That's your thing.
Disappointing.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'm not here to perform for you.
You are here to perform for everyone, not just for me.
No. I'm here because I have no choice. All right. The necessary items to upgrade your weapon and the conditions will be presented to you. Interesting. So let me read that again. The necessary items to upgrade your weapon and the conditions will be presented to you. So they're going to tell you exactly what you need and how to get them. You can also obtain these items from outside of Southern Bosha areas as well. However, when the interviewer asks if the item obtained is something like you obtained by doing the Atma light farming, Yoshi P answers, "We can't tell you anything for now, but probably."
Probably something similar.
Probably.
Since the items can also be obtained through outside the Southern Bosha, you are free to raise your weapon at your own pace. So maybe it will be a one-time quest, and then you have these other abilities to do it.
But you still have the ability to do them on your own. I do feel like the quest would be different. I don't feel like it's going to be the same story over and over again.
No elements will be involved.
I love that they have to make that like a statement. Like it's its own statement. You will not have to deal with the elements in Southern Bosha. This is not Eureka.
Yeah, we're talking about
no
the
elements.
Eureka light doors. Whatever they were.
What are the elements, Pete?
Light, wind, and fire. Earth, wind, and fire.
It's only 3.
It's the band, right? Earth, wind, fire?
Yeah. But yeah, thank goodness no elements because that was a pain in the butt. It was ridiculous. All right.
You didn't like hitting that button?
Yeah.
Changing your elemental wheel? Now we have resistance rank.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody wanted it. So the biggest thing that everybody was the most excited about, you guys, is that there will now be 8 new umbrellas. That was actually probably one of your better sound timings. It is a little quiet today. You can obtain them through Ishgard Restoration as well as the Southern Bosha front lines. But one of the things that's kind of cool is that some of the umbrellas are Eastern Japanese themed, which I do think those paper umbrellas are gorgeous. So those are some umbrellas I actually wouldn't hate having. And I know that this is a glamour G-pose game. Like there are so many people that's what they do, especially when content is so sparse.
Do you know how many times I've brought out my umbrella?
I don't know what broughten means.
Brought out.
Never.
0.
Yeah, but Pete, you know how many times you've changed your glamour?
Couple.
Exactly. And how many years? But this is something that people are going to be excited for, even if they're not Pete. Like, yeah, Disco Cub just said that may actually make me get the Parasol feature. I think it's going to be really cool to see what different ones they actually, like, add to it. And there's also a new category that I think is actually kind of related to the reason that they implemented umbrellas. Like, umbrellas were like the test ground. So now they're adding a new category called fashion items. And the new attachments will be added like how the umbrellas are. This is currently in the planning stage, but for like the example of it is like you can now hug a teddy bear while you're walking. So this is definitely for the role players. This is something like people are really excited for that are not you. Like you are just one piece of, yes, there you go. So I mean, this is great if you like, you can really have your character walk around how you feel your character should walk around. So like so Pete, I'm going to bring back ESO because I got to find a way to make him actually understand it. In ESO, you can assign personalities to your character. You can have your character walk around like an assassin. You can have them walk around like a general. You can have them walk around like a lady. And it just affects the way they stand and the way it actually affects their emotes. So it's more based off the personality you want your character to have. So all this is doing is giving that another element to allow people to customize their characters to have the personality they want it to have. I don't think you need to be a turd about that. I think it's really cool.
Runs in male aura.
I'm sorry,
no,
guys.
I think
tried.
They should make lots of that. I think like the character selection, they should definitely like add all that shit to that. Make your character however you want.
They're not going to change that because that feature's already there. This is their way of adding that customization feature. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean you have to use it.
I won't.
I know. I mean, you don't think it'd be hilarious to have your like super buffed out, sexy, green afroed hire running around hugging a teddy bear all the time?
No.
I think it'd be funny as hell.
I don't think it's funny. I think it's a waste of time.
Only because that's the stuff that you don't do.
I know, but really? Give us more dungeons.
That's not everybody wants to do dungeons.
Everyone wants more dungeons right now.
No, they literally just cut out dungeons. They're actively giving us less dungeons.
I'm saying everyone wants more dungeons.
Well, right now, because there's no content.
Let's give back teddy bears and umbrellas for another dungeon. Take it back, Square Enix. Take it back.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm really not, but there's, a very large population of people that that's like huge for them. People are really excited about this.
I can understand creatively people wanting to change it up. Designers wanting to change it up. Do something new. Why don't you figure out how to do something new with dungeons? Okay? we don't need parasols. We don't need huggable teddies. Get some more dungeons.
We need some Viera hairstyles. Thank you, Disco Cub.
Yeah.
Give me a goddamn Viera hairstyles before you give me a huggable teddy bear.
They were like, we could give people hairstyles. We could give people genders of the races that they don't have right now. But no. First, let's do fashion items, and we're starting with the fucking teddy bear.
It's just funny. A lot of people are like core battle content. I feel like there needs to be a t-shirt. I want core battle content. Bring it always back. Always bring it back to that.
What else do we have in here? New crafter and gatherer equipments will be implemented for patch 5.3. Purely eye level increase.
Cool.
Okay. At patch 5.3, the pentamelded equipments will be superior to the sky steel tools. Crafted gear better than the old relic.
We're going to be getting the new Beast Tribe quests. The dwarves. Wait, why is it like the plural of dwarf is dwarves with a V? But it's did you write it this way? Or is this how it was written?
Copied and pasted.
Okay.
Can't blame me for this one.
No, I wasn't. I actually feel like I've seen it this way a lot, and I'm just kind of interested. They keep calling them dwarfs instead of dwarves. Anyways, it's one of those days, you guys. So you're going to do the quest in Lakeland, which is actually kind of surprising. So not where the other dwarves are. And you're going to be able to get a mount. Are we going to get to ride around on a dwarf? Is that the mount? It's going to be a dwarf?
That is so offensive.
I know, but it's funny.
I think it's weird that's going to be in Lakeland.
I do too.
Why'd they decide to do that?
I don't know. They got to like separate the dwarf from the other dwarves to make it a dwarf without the other dwarves.
Massive beard mount.
I was actually picturing it being like their helmet. I'm really curious to see. It's probably going to be like mining related,
like a
or
mustache
something.
ride.
Gonna ride around on a pickaxe.
That'd be kind of cool. Maybe they can just add pickaxe to parasol and you float around like Mary Poppins.
I mean, that's very simple to do. Oh my god, we haven't even gotten to Teaching Pete lore yet. This is a long episode. I think we're gonna skip this next section, Pete.
Teach me something, Avi.
It doesn't work. We've already proven that.
What?
It doesn't work.
I haven't got one wrong.
All right, so then let me. Last week's question. What is the name of the new vessel that will protect you from a band of pirates in Limsa Lominsa?
I don't think we had this question last week.
This is last week's. In Lower Linosia at the Morby Dry Docks, what will be the most powerful ship in Maelstrom's armada is currently under construction. What is the name of this new vessel that you protect from a band of pirates? I got this one
right, didn't I?
No, it's red.
Are you sure?
Red means wrong.
The second time?
Yes.
You have 2 reds on there?
Yes. That's not the only one.
Ask the question.
That is last week's question. I want to know if you can answer last week's question.
No.
You already got it wrong twice.
No, I don't remember the options.
Then why then you're not learning? Why doesn't he listen to me?
Fine, we'll change it to asking Pete Lore.
Oh my god, I think that's what it needs to be. Oh, okay. So the names are either A, Defiant, B, Enterprise, C, Victory, or D, Salvation.
Oh, yes. Stupid fucking name. Victory, right?
I don't know, is it?
Yes.
Oh my god. All right, so what was the name?
Victory.
Of what?
Some dumb shit in Limsa Laminsa.
Okay, so we have another question.
Nailed it again.
So good. We have another question from KK McLeod. I think I actually had a question that somebody sent me, and but I'll set that up for next week. I apologize.
Damn, Fenris dropped another peacock mount in chat.
Oh my god, it's such a pretty mount. I feel like we should record every episode with my character on a peacock mount. It actually makes me sad when we're inside. So this question is from KK McLeod.
Is this a new one or an old one?
Originally in episode 182. I love asking you the old ones. You hate it, but everyone else loves it so much.
I don't know if that's true.
So it's an Alphino question. He's your favorite character.
Already out.
It literally says Alphino question because he's Pete's favorite character. So it's actually KK's words. Alphino graduated the Charlayan Studium at what age? 14, 15, 16, 17.
I thought he was only like 12. Right now, I thought he was only 12.
Oop, there's a cat.
What is it? Alphino graduated from the stadium?
Charlayan Studium.
Trillium Studium.
What?
Trillium? Are you saying Charlayan?
Yes.
At what ages?
14 through 17.
What I guess last time?
I don't know. He doesn't even name what I guess.
14. Final answer.
I actually think that's what you guessed last time. Now that you say it.
So are you saying I'm wrong?
Yes.
15.
All right, Pete. It's 16.
Damn it.
I'm not even gonna just keep playing that game with you. So what age did Alphino graduate?
Who cares?
I'm gonna ask you again. The cat is throwing stuff. The cat literally just picked up a clothespin and threw it at Pete. And also 16 is considered an adult in their society, Pete.
Oh, I bet all the people really into Reen loved hearing that. All right, still undefeated.
Oh, yeah, is that what that is?
Yup.
Okay. All right, let's move on.
Fucking unicorn, Disco Cub.
I love it that they start asking the questions I repeat on you now. We're gonna make sure he learns the things. Oh my god, the cat's trying to knock. Buscemi's turned into that asshole cat who knocks everything off the counter. He just did it. Oh, that was a quiet thing, but he's just gonna start knocking stuff off.
Hey, Wando with the Twitch Prime sub for 30 months.
Aww.
Legend. Thank you, Wando.
Thank you, Wando. I want to see if I keep setting stuff in front of Buscemi if he'll knock it off. Oh, he's moving.
All right, Avi. Do you want to go through all our discussion topics?
No, we're already at like an hour and 45 minutes.
You feel like that was enough? That was just the news. We didn't even get to discussion, y'all.
That was a lot of news for once. Yay.
All right. Community Roundup, partner. And this time I want to talk about Alex. I don't know how to pronounce the second name.
Moukala?
Moukala or Moukala. Alex Moukala music. On YouTube, he's a music producer who breaks down songs in video games. Quite a few are for Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy VII Remake is what I've watched as well. But he does a lot of other games as well. And not only is he knowledgeable about music, and he's like really, really knowledgeable about music, but he's also very into the games as well. And he knows a lot about it, a lot of the history about the games
as well.
He was comparing Final Fantasy VII original music to Final Fantasy VII Remake music. And that was really interesting. So it makes his videos pretty damn awesome that he's so knowledgeable on both fronts. So give him a watch if you enjoy Final Fantasy music.
As well. You said it so many times.
I don't know. I feel like I said it twice.
It was like at least 4 times. As well as a follow.
Follow as well as subscribing. Let's as well get to listener reaction, Avi.
No, let's get to some listener reaction as well.
Nope.
It's the end of sentence. You always say it end of sentence.
No. From Twitter, we have Chili, who said...
He literally goes, Avi, let's do this.
Yeah,
and then
you were taking too long. Taking over the show.
You already have.
Chili says, we cleared E7S. That's me.
You did it? Or
I did it with Chili.
You all did it. Just
with
you and Chili?
Just me. Just me and him. We duoed it.
All it takes is a... Are you a tank or a monk?
KK McLeod watched. No. Our raid group
finally
beat E7S. And now we're on to Eat AS. Eat AS?
That's what it sounded like. Oh my god, Buscemi is walking around looking for things to throw off the edge. What is it? Oh, KK, you dance? I bet you look so pretty.
And William...
I was getting there. And William 08328964 says, at She Heals I Tank. I like tank, but I don't pull big. Mostly because I'm not sure how much I can pull and live. Yeah. And I remember I responded to this and I said, that's why when you get to the point where you wonder, that's when you start pulling more to find out.
I always find it's better to find the limit first. Like a new dungeon, first expert roulette of a new patch. I am pulling as much as I can. If I die, I die.
Yep.
So just keep on pulling big. You'll find out your limits. And Sayo said, at She Heals I Tank, listening to the last episode at work again, and oh lord, the images are coming back from Pete's surprise break. That sassy walk of his edged into my mind. I don't know if it was edge or etched. Be sure to have a clip of it in your 300th anniversary podcast, or there will be riots.
You guys, I trained Buscemi to knock everything off I put in front of him, and I'm so happy right now.
I actually didn't know this was a thing, so I had to go back and watch the episode. And apparently I did do a little like strut out when I had to...
No, it wasn't a strut. It was a butt clenched. I gotta pee so bad.
I don't know what it was. Was my little pee dance. And it was mentioned a couple times in chat during the episode, so I guess it was more apparent than I thought it was.
Those butt cheeks were like clenched.
Ooh, it's like a bear trap, baby.
Oh, sorry to get distracted by the cat while we're podcasting, but it was just really funny. I was, if it makes you feel better, I was getting him to throw She Heals I Tank magnets, so it was related to the
just
podcast.
Throwing our merch on the ground?
No, he is. I'm setting it on the countertop, and he's throwing it. Oh, Okop says that the clenched ass cheeks were visible even through athletic shorts.
Hey, you got a dunk.
Oh, Bisco Cup says a butt bear trap has a whole other content with my people. All right. So on the butt bear trap, I think that's the name of this episode.
Sure thing.
That is going to be it for this episode. As always, we've enjoyed hanging out with all of you live here on Twitch. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Be sure to hit that follow button so you will know the next time we are going live. And a great big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, or whatever app you choose to listen to. You really are the reason we keep making episodes. And remember, wherever you do listen, it would mean a shit ton to us if you gave our little shit podcast a rating or a review. Or more importantly, tell a friend to check us out. Here with Vegan Pete, I am Avi Ale, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.